Hello everyone and welcome to this channel. Today we are going to talk about how to assemble a computer in a case. Please subscribe this channel so that you could know when a new video is posted. In this slide you can see that a desktop computer is assembled on a table. Top left here there is a power supply unit. In short, we call it PSU. Notice that this power supply, in this location, there is a AC power connector. Below that, there is PSU on-off switch. And in this area, we have this motherboard. At lower left, there is motherboard IO connectors, where I have attached a keyboard, mouse, USB-C device, a DP cable from a 4K monitor. I also connected few hard drives. Actually, these are solid state hard drives. So in this location I can attach 4 and here I can attach another 4. But for this board I used 3 SSD and another one for optical drive. At top right corner there are on-off reset connectors for this motherboard. In this area, you could see PCIe slot. In this setup, I don't have any PCIe card. When you install a card on the PCIe slot, it stands vertical on the board. Remember, a PCIe card may or may not have IO connectors like this. In case there is any, it will be facing outside of the board, same as this motherboard IO connectors. Since the system is on a table, I could reach to any device I want to. For example, I want to replace this hard drive, or I want to do anything like add another hard drive here, maybe remove the power cable, add a PCIe device here. I could do whenever I want because it's right on the table. However, should I leave the system open like this? Simple answer, no. Open system like this is not safe for you as well as for the system itself. So I could buy a computer case and install my desktop system inside it. Then I have few questions. If I put everything inside a box, how could I reach power supply on-off switch here? Or how could I reach my hard drive? Or in this here, this on-off connectors, how could I turn on my computers when my board is inside a box? To find out, let's go to next slide. Here, I repeat the same question that I asked in last slide. How to access internal devices? The answer is through cutouts. You see this hole here, here, actually there's a big hole here. These are all cutouts. A cutout is a pre-made hole on a steel plate. Okay, let's go back. Through this hole, you could access a device attached to the other side of the panel. If you have a chance to see an empty case, this is empty case actually, you will find many cutout in its front and rear panel. So this is a rear panel. You can see lots of cutouts here, and on far right, this is the front panel. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, there may be another one here, and these small holes, these are actually vents to install fans, or just leave it open for airflow. By the way, the front panel cutouts may be covered by a plastic cover, just like this. This one is a plastic cover. On the left side of the photo, we see rear panel of a case. I just said that. Okay. At left side here, this big hole is for power supply unit. When a power supply is properly installed inside the case, it will cover this cutout. But you can still access the power supply's AC connector as well as its power on-off switch. So you can, this is AC connector and on-off switch. So when you install this power supply, so you screw down here, here and here and here. So on this side will cover the cutout. However, since the steel plate is open, you can still have access to this switch and this power connector. This part is actually vent, so you don't need to worry about it. So let's go again. All right. Now here, at the right side, this is cut out for PCIe slots. There are 7 slots in this cutout. Actually, they are all covered by small steel plates, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 small plates. They are screwed down inside through a screw, small screw. Right. So if you want to use this space, you have to remove the plate. Like this one is covered, right? So you can remove the screw from inside the box and the plate will come out and they will be opening. Here in the middle of left photo, there is a cutout for motherboard IO connectors. So once a board is mounted in a case, you could set its built-in IO connectors through this hole. Like the connector will come through this hole, so you'll be able to access it. Let's go back here. This is motherboard IO connectors. This whole part will not come out, only the side. You will only see the side, so that you can still plug in the connectors. Okay. So we have power supply here, motherboard IO connectors and PCIe slots here. Okay. Now let's check this. Now let's check these 2 photos. Okay. So here I'm just checking some information. Okay. Now let's see the front panel. Here is, say, Antec. This is actually brand name. These are spaces for devices. So when you remove this front panel, this plastic cover, you will see this whole area. This is the front part of the steel case. Now this hole may be done previously to install this like USB and speaker, like these microphone connectors. And here, this is a plate. You can actually twist it to remove it. When you remove it, you can see the hole inside where you can push in the optical drive. Most of the time, optical drives are installed here, front panel. So this one, another place for maybe a small drive. This plate you can also remove and install a drive there, or anything that fits there. There are so many devices available just to install on front panel cutouts. So a Blu-ray drive or optical drive, they are mainly for front panel installation. Now remember, as long as there is a cutout in either front panel or rear panel, try to find out the use for it. it may be useful one day. Now, from this slide we can understand panel cutouts help a lot in system building. And these are actually for these are called vents. This vent probably no use, is only for airflow. This one is likely, like when you see vents and with these holes like this, it's likely for a fan, because 1 2 3 4, these 4 holes, they look like for a fan. Like this smaller 1 2 3 4, these 4 may be for a smaller fan. So as long as the vent is here, you can look for extra holes, probably there for fan installation. Some case will come with the fan. In case there is no fan, they give you these holes so that you can mount fan. Okay. In this slide, there are 2 boards. Left side is ATX board. At right, it's a micro ATX board. You could see ATX is bigger than micro ATX board. Look at the I/O connectors here, and then there are PCIe slots. See the yellow circles on both boards? These are pre-made holes on motherboard, as known as mounting holes. For ATX motherboard at left, this one, it has as many as 9 mounting holes. For the smaller board at right, which is micro ATX, you could find 6 holes. In future, I'm going to make another video where we discuss about motherboards in details. I'll talk about these sockets, these memory slots, PCIe, and connectors, and so many other parts that you probably like to know. And it's good to know a lot about motherboard, like insights. It helps you save a lot of money, and also you can easily build a system. And that's why it's very important to understand your motherboard. And you know, computer starts from motherboard. Okay, let's go to next slide. All right. In this slide, there are 3 photos. These are actually drawing. And like, I got this photo first, and then I try to make it like that. Okay. Top photo shows the rear view of a system. This is the motherboard. Yeah, actually there are so many parts missing. Yeah, it's a kind of drawing, like just to make you understand. So this one is a PCB, and you can only see the connectors here. Everything else is missing. There should be so many other stuff, right? Okay. Note that this board has 2 PCIe cards installed. So this is one card, this is another card. Left one is a graphics card. Right one is USB expansion card. You see all the USB slot here. I think this is USB-C, and these are USB 3. And left side, this is VGA. This one is HDMI, and this one is DVI. Now, both of them have I/O ports. These are I/O ports. Like here, like VGA, HDMI, graphics, and here USB 3 and USB-C. That means when you install this system into the case, you will have to make sure card's I/O ports can be accessed from outside the case. Same as motherboard's I/O connectors. Because if you want to connect your HDMI panel, then you have to use this HDMI connector, because you have to connect the cable. And if you want to use a USB 3 pen drive or USB pen drive, you have to make sure you can access this I/O port, right? So by default, most I/O connectors from motherboard as well as PCIe cards could be accessed from rear side of a computer case. So by default, you can access all these I/O connectors from rear side of the computer case, like here. No, let's go back. So this is the rear side. Ignore this PSU now. So this part, here you access motherboard IO connectors, and in this area you can access PCIe IO connectors, right? So check again this lower left photo, this empty rear panel, and then compare it to the right side one. Look at this motherboard IO, this place is empty, and after installation here you can see the motherboard IOs here, and when this whole system is inside you can access this PCIe cards, these IO ports here. You can see the left one is our graphics card and the right one is the USB expansion card. So when you can access all this thing from behind this PC case, you can think that okay, board is nicely installed. Now let's check other things like hard drives, right? I missed did I miss? No. Okay. Let's see. In this slide there are 3 case samples. First, we look at the location for PSU, power supply unit. So here, this for PSU. So for this case it's on top here, and below there is motherboard. For this case the PSU is on the bottom and then is the motherboard. For the last one, this one is still like PSU is still on the bottom and the motherboard is on top here. Now look at these red rectangles here and here and also here. These are drive cages where you can install hard drives. Previously we have seen the hard drives. I attached many hard drives on my motherboard, so we know how PSU is installed. We also see we have seen this motherboard, how it is installed, and then we have these hard drives and optical drives, right? So I told you the optical drive will go here like front panel, but the hard drives, there are so many, so I could install about 7 hard drives. So we need a lot of space for these 7 hard drives. So PC case have these cases, they have this hard drive cage like this one. It's a very big cage, so you can install hard drives here. This one here, you have one cage here, another cage here, so it is very easy. You just follow the manual. It will be very easy to install the hard drives, and you connect the cables like power cable, SATA cable. For this one, it's actually full tower case. It gives you lots of space for hard drives, like 1, 2, and here 2. I think here you can also install hard drives. So that's how you install hard drives. You have many hard drives, you have to go for full tower case. I think these two are mid tower case. If you're making a gaming computer, you probably like to have a full tower case and then remove all these cages. You know, they are removable and it will give you lots of space inside. So so that is really very good, because gaming computer will generate a lot of heat. So when you have a big case, lots of way to have a good airflow. Okay, let me see here. So more hard drives in the front panel, right? The last one we have seen the drive cages. So once you close the panel on this side, here, and here, you cannot access the hard drive anymore because they are already inside, and then you close the panel, so it's just they're inside. Yeah. So but if you want to access a hard drive, say you want to remove one hard drive, and say you are using Windows 7, then you want to use Linux, or you want to use Windows 10. What some people will do, they will not do like multi operating system in one hard drive. They will make one hard drive for each operating system. I like to do that thing, right? I will have different hard drive for different operating system. So when I need Windows 10, I just remove the hard drive and we use Windows 10 hard drive. So for that reason, I have to make sure that I don't need to open the side panel, but I can still remove the hard drive, and it's possible through front panel. Let's see. So first you need to understand on the left side. So top one, this is for USB, like you have two USB 3 port and I think it's USB-C, and these two are most important here. They are called hard drive mobile rack. So what they are? So they are mounted inside the front panel, like empty space, like here. See, when you remove the plate, you will find the empty space, so the rack can be pushed into it. Now, on this rack, there is a tab. It's a pull tab. When you pull that tab, it opens and you'll see a small hole just big enough for a hard drive. So what you can do, you can push one hard drive inside and close the lid. It's like a small door, like you open the door and then inside you see a small room, you just push the hard drive inside and then you close the door. Now behind this rack there is power connector and SATA connector. As soon as you put the power hard drive inside and close the door, close a small door, the hard drive will automatically connect to the connectors at back. So it will get power and there will be communication with the motherboard. However, you should do it when the computer is shut down, like there is no power. Okay, so in short, how this rack works: after you mount this rack in the cage, attach SATA and power cable to its backside connector. And this rack has a small door in front. You open the door, you will see a hole just big enough for hard drive, right? And then you put the hard drive inside. When you turn on computer, the drive will get power and system will see it. Now, sometimes, like if you have two here, the first one is for operating system, the second one can be for data drive. So you want to remove it. What you do, you have to understand the name of this hard drive. You go to find out. You can find out from Windows Device Manager. So once you find out, you disable the hard drive. And when it's done, you will see that hard drive is disabled. Then you can open this door. That is called hot plug, actually, hot unplug. You should be fine with SATA devices. And say you are looking for a file which is not in this hard drive. Remember, not here. This one you have the operating system. You don't want to remove that one. Okay, so this one is data drive. So you can remove that one. First you have to disable it, Windows Device Manager, then you can remove it, right? And if you know there is another hard drive and you have a file there that you are looking for, you can just put it inside and in the Device Manager look for new drive and your system will find it. All right. And there's a lock here. This lock is for you not to open this door. It depends up to you. Sometimes you can actually lock it so nobody can, like, you just don't suddenly remove the hard drive, because this will lock this door, small door. This is actually very useful, very useful. I have this this computer case. Actually I have 4 of them. Like, I just like them. I normally don't put any hard drive inside the case. I install hard drive mostly through this mobile rack. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here we are back to the tabletop system. The reason is that we have to understand what we had on the table and what we have done to take this inside a case. In this slide, we are back to the computer that was assembled on the table. I think by now you have a clear picture about which part goes where in a case, like in the power supply unit, motherboard, these hard drives. optical drive, and if you have a PCIe card on this slot. So I can do a quick summary. For PSU, power supply unit, it's installed either top or bottom side of the board. It has to stay close to board because of this reason. This one is a power cable. This is power cable for the motherboard, and you also have a power cable here. So you have to make sure this power cable, actually power cable is not very long, so that's why it's better for the PSU to be installed close to motherboard. You will find out some PSU they have shorter power cable. Some of them have really longer because they thought that you may install this PSU on a case on the bottom, so it may be on this area. So from this you have to go all the way here. So this power supply may need a very long power cable. Like for this one, this is a 24-pin power cable, right? This is the motherboard power cable. Like it gives lots of different power, 3 volt, 5 volt, 12 volt, stuff like that, right? So I just said it has to stay close to board so you can attach power cable easily. Now the motherboard should be on the motherboard tray of the PC case. Like PC case has a flat area which we call like motherboard tray. You have to install the motherboard there. First you have to install spacers, and then motherboard should be on top of the spacers. Otherwise the board will be short, right? In future I'll make another video and I'll discuss about those things. Okay. Now drives, these drives, they go to drive cage. Some can go to front panel. Optical drive always goes to front panel because you have to press a button here, and the tray has to come out so you can load the disk. Now if this one is inside the case, you cannot do that for sure, right? So it has to be on the front panel, right? Okay. Let me see. Finally, we have this motherboard on-off connectors. Yeah. How to access this from a case? Simple. The PC case has built-in switches, mostly on front panel. Let me see if I can. Here. Look at this one. This area. I think there is a switch. I think this one is a switch. And this may be LEDs, like if the hard drive is accessing or not. Most of the time I will care about this power on off switch, and there will be another one, the reset switch. These two are very important because if your computer hangs, you need to reset the computer. So you just press reset. And power on is just like, you know, when it's on sleep or in hibernate mode, you can just press this power on button, the system will wake up. Let's go back. Okay. So behind these switches, you will find some wires that you can connect to the motherboard on-off connectors here. Like on the tabletop, I have used one special cable designed for this motherboard. So here you have I have one on-off switch. I can use that switch to turn on this board because I did not have any case at the time. Alright, so this PC case has built-in switches. So in front panel, so you have to make sure you know how to use them. Behind these switches there are wires. You also need to know how to install them. To do this properly, and you have to do it very properly, like you know, like you cannot make a mistake there. Always check the manual of the board. Now conclusion, we hope you found this video useful. We invite you to subscribe and watch our upcoming videos, and I also hope this video will inspire you to assemble your own desktop computer. And please feel free to post comment after reading blogs from our DBA site, and if you have any question, please ask. Thank you for watching. That is all for now.